Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 podcast on Sunday night. I'm your host, Keith Plunker, and this morning I woke up with a creak in my neck and I should have stayed in bed. Made a bad decision to get up, should have wrote this day off, but I didn't. I stuck with it and I'm suffering for it now. I'm joined tonight by Seany Lawson. Seany, how are you?
Keith, what's happening, pal? As good as can be, I suppose.
How's your neck? No creaks or none of that?
It's my bollocks that I'm worried about because of an awful pain in them after that 90 minutes.
Excellent stuff. It was a few talking points that we'll get to them, I'm sure. Peter Smith, all the way from Catalonia. How are you, my friend?
Good afternoon. All good, Keith. All good, lads.
Great to have you tonight. Well, you know, not all good, but why not? And Grizz, how are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as the lads. Pain in my bollocks, in my head, in my neck, everything. Every part of my body's aching.
I think that might be the COVID, Grizz.
I think that's the COVID. I was just going to say, but I think that's the COVID.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, we go again, as they say.
We go again. Right, lads. No skirting around it. Liverpool got absolutely rogered 7-2 tonight by Aston Villa. Very few positives we can take from it, plenty of negatives, but there's been a lot of reaction to it in the half hour, 40 minutes or whatever since it ended, and some of it is going over the top, and some of it, you know, is justified. Sean, I'll come to you. What did you make of the game as a whole, and what were the main sort of talking points that you took from it?
As a whole, it was an absolute disaster from minute one. We just never settled into the game. I'm going to try as rational as I can after you get beaten 7-2, because I don't think we should just skirt over it and go on about how good the team is. Look, you're as good as your last game, as they say. And 7-2, look, it didn't really flatter Villa, and that's the thing, because at times in the game, Barkley could have had a hat-trick by half-time. And then you're looking at a Villa side that every shot you were taking was going in. It was ending up in the back of the net. And it was just one of those days. We never, ever got any sort of control in the game. And the thing is, it's hard to put such abysmal performance down to one player. But you'd be lying if you said Adrian wasn't at the heart of it, because it all starts with him. From day dot, from minute dot, we just never get going in the game because his error is costly. We were punished at every turn tonight. It was a shocking performance. The worst I've seen from us in a long, long time.
Very
and whoever's
true.
playing little boys in the background there, lads, give her a rest.
Yeah, who's got that on? Grizz or Peter?
No, it's definitely Peter.
Definitely Peter. Definitely is. Peter, I'll come to you. Have you got lovely little lullaboys playing in the back? He does, because he's gone on mute and we can't.
I do. Keep the. No, I'm back. Sorry, it's gone down. Yeah, big shout out as well. I mean, I back up everything that, to be honest with you. A big shout out to all the remaining Jordan Henderson haters who don't understand his value to this team. I mean, watch that game. I said it on Twitter tonight. Watch that game on repeat over and over again until you realise that if you're going to play a high line like that, which I don't necessarily think we should, and we can talk about that later, you have to have somebody pressing in the middle of the park, especially when you've got an attacking midfield trio as Villa did tonight. You know, there was just no pressure on the ball. I thought Dean Smith got everything spot on. Ollie Watkins, Joe Gomez as well made Ollie Watkins, we said earlier on, look like Harry Kane. Ollie Watkins he scored his first goals in the Premier League tonight. He looked to me like he's been scoring goals for 5 or 6 years at the highest level. He hasn't. I thought, to give Villa their credit, I thought that Matty Cash is an excellent fullback, will play for England. I thought John McGinn, if Aston Villa had John McGinn last year, they wouldn't be in a relegation battle. Everybody shites on about Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is great when he has time and space for me, but John McGinn is the bollocks, is the bread and butter in that midfield, and he really picked us off tonight. I thought as well the fact that they've got a very, very good goalkeeper is probably, and a good centre forward, is a difference between. It's a different Aston Villa. I mean, Martinez, nobody's talking about him. An excellent goalkeeper, ripped off at Arsenal. For me, they should have got rid of Leno. He's a spoofer. Yeah, nothing, no good performances from the bar. I thought Diogo Jota put it up to them at times tonight. But I thought Matty Cash just made it a personal battle, so it kind of nullified that we were. It looked to me like Liverpool players were looking at each other going, who's going to start this? Who's going to get this? The first time I've seen not one Liverpool player take responsibility. Don't even want to go there with Adrian. I mean, at one stage, he went walkabouts when Ollie Watkins nearly tapped in his fourth. It just sums him up. It's not his fault. He's just not good enough to play for us. And I think people will talk about Joe Gomez. Oh, he's young. You're either good enough or you aren't. We've seen 17, 18-year-olds come into the team in different positions and be good enough. You're either good enough. And when you're champions and when you want to go back to back, that means you're either good enough or you aren't. I don't want any passengers in this.
Yeah. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And you know what? We'll come back to individual performances now in a few minutes. And Darius's comment up there, we'll come back to that one in a sec as well. But Grizz, your opinion overall on the game today, this evening?
Football's a humbling sport, isn't it?
It is. Life comes at you fast.
Yeah. And we take the highs, we take the plaudits, we give the players and the team the mentality monsters tag, and we talk about all the good things that we've done in the last few years. And there is going to be moments that you want to just sort of forget. There are games that you just don't ever want to talk about, but you have to talk about them. It's part and parcel of it. Today was one of those games. I was going to call you Gav, but you're a far better host than Gav, who's bottled it, by the way, today. We were going to bring up the Gomez centre back, but anyway, we won't touch on it if he's not here. Look, it was just exactly echoing what the two knowledgeable chaps said. It was a disaster, literally from the minute get-go. I said it against Leeds. When a midfield outruns and outbattles our midfield, we're in trouble. And I thought credit to Aston Villa's midfield. We can touch upon Alice. What's his name in goal? I don't want to say his name. See that? That was natural. I didn't mean to say. I don't want to say his name because I think about him already. But we can talk about that keeper we've got when Alisson's not fit, not being up to it, and we know the score with him. And we may get onto it later. But the rest of the team are to blame as well. You can't single out one player. Every section of our team has leaders in terms of vocal leaders, in terms of communicators when we're looking to press other teams. Up front has it, and it seems to be Mane, the vocal one, who sets the press. Midfield has it, and it seems to be Hendo is the one that communicates with the rest of us to press. And usually it's Virgil at the back, or Alisson maybe even. There was no communication through the spine of our team in terms of when to press, how to press. A lot has been made up. A lot's been made. That's definitely not my baby this time. A lot's been made up of this pressing, this high line we play. In fact, I'm culpable. A lot of people can say it came back to haunt me because I remember, Keith. I compared our offside traps to the great Arrigo Sacchi teams. Fucking hell, what do I know, eh? I thought it was embarrassing. I thought it was, and that's the only word for it. Yeah, Aston Villa were great. Aston Villa outworked us, and Ollie Watkins was unplayable, as Klopp says, but only because of the organisation, the communication, and the setup of our team and individual errors. And that's what it was.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it was a humbling defeat. It was, we're going to get stuck into some of the performances and all, but Darius Hoyt has put this comment up. This beating showed the team, coaching and owners what injuries can result in. And abysmal as this was, this was the perfect time to happen and will get fixed. Now, Sean, I'll come to you. Do you think it'll get fixed? There's no time to fix this. Adrian is going to be in goal for the next, Alisson's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Apparently, we'll probably have an international break in there, but we're going to have games in that time. Adrian's going to be in goal. There's no other alternative, is there?
Yeah, but the word fixed is a bit heavy. Fixed. This game is an anomaly. Let's make no bounds about it.
Very much.
we're not going to play many games this year and give up 31% possession only and concede 7 goals. Look, context is very, very important with these things, and it's always good to take a seat and relax for a minute and see how it goes. Now, I can only imagine what social media knee-jerk is like at the moment. And look, a couple of the lads in the group, Grizz being one and Shane Davern being another one, have always been vocally against Adrian being a second choice goalkeeper. I was of the idea that he was grand because, look, the thing is,
we've got his back. He's back.
Is
that back, Shawnee?
I think the internet's you're back in there now.
Yeah. So basically, where did I get cut off?
Early. So that you, Davo and Grizz were critical, but you always felt he was fine. Is he gone again?
Yeah, Davo and Grizz were always against the idea of having Adrian as a backup goalkeeper. And I was always more of, well, look, he's not going to play many games. But now it's an issue we have to deal with. And 4 to 6 weeks is just the amount of time where you probably don't bring in another keeper in an emergency. Had it been a little bit longer, he probably would have get something done. Now, the issue of being fixed is, I think it's a little bit knee-jerky. Look at 3 of them goals tonight. They don't even dream of shooting. Allison's in goal. It's just one of them things. We have to deal with it. This is one of the where you take your licks, you take the good, you take the rough with the bad, the bad with the smooth. You just get on. Not one of them can hold their head up quite. I thought Salah tried his best. I really did. I thought he was the one trying to drag it through the mire. What's more annoying to me is he seems to be getting away with it. Firmino has been shocking of late. Now, I understand people going about and being the system, but he's not even doing the system things. He's not coming back into midfield and nicking the ball away from their whole midfielders. He's not doing the little things. He's not linking play. Nothing is there. His touch is not there. The simple 5-yard pass is not there. It just hasn't happened for him at all. Has not happened for him at all. And he's struggling big time. And I thought Minamino would have been the change at half time there, like for like. But Klopp tried to change the system. And I don't think Klopp was great either tonight. Look, we can point fingers at every single person. You can point fingers at management. But if you've played football, you know when a game gets to a certain stage, sometimes you just need to take responsibility yourself. The likes of Virgil, the likes of Fabinho, the likes of Trent, the likes of Robertson turn around and say, you know what, lads, this isn't going to be our day here. Let's fucking just dig in and get out of here unscathed as much as possible. But no, it was blind. It was blind optimism from the first whistle to the last. It was a really, really terrible performance. No other way to put it.
It was poor all around. Another comment coming in there from I'm going to make a ball to this. Kubayb Ilyas. That was my next guest, Grizz. That was my next guest. And he's saying from the start, the team was lacking in spirit, probably taken aback by sudden disappearance of Mane and Alisson. I wouldn't blame the whole line or the goalkeeper. We need to learn to cope with injuries onto the derby. And Peter, I'll come to you because there's a lot of it's getting a lot of stick, the high line. Do you think it warrants that, or is it just it's worked so well up till now, and we just got caught by the balls tonight because everybody was off form?
It works when you press effectively. Liverpool did not press effectively at all in any area of the park. The only player I saw that tried to lead a press in any way was Jota in the first half. You know, he was pressing the hell out of Cash. They were having a little ding dong. The high line's a problem if midfielders aren't putting pressure on people. Hang on a sec. It's the smallest one. I'm gonna move. The high line is a problem. If you've still got me there, the high line's a real problem if midfielders don't want to do their job, and essentially that is the problem. That was the problem tonight. No, don't get me wrong. If the high line is going to be effective as well, everybody has to be confident within it.
Yeah,
I don't even want to talk about Gomez.
I think you should, though, Pete.
We will.
And so
I
for
think
me, if midfielder,
you've been vocal about
to be honest with you,
in the past, and
if you look every step, I know. I sometimes sound like a broken record, and I don't want to. But I watch Virgil. Our line is set by Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, everybody sets the line with him. He's the player that you see with his arms out every time Liverpool don't have the ball. He's setting the line. You guys know the game, so it's a very simple job. If you're the mark, okay, I will join him in that line. So many times Gomez was wrong side of the fella he was trying to mark, which was Ollie Watkins, or he was just wrong side of where Virgil was trying to set the line. There was a couple of times when we were looking at the VAR, looking at the linesman to try to bail us out, and it was never going to happen. I mean, Aston Villa played it like just played it so well. The lads that were offside weren't interfering with play. They knew that. They continued. Just for me, like I said to you, you can't, when you're playing a high line, you can't afford mistakes. You can't afford anyone not do that job. Gomez and nobody pressing in the middle of the park. It's just completely done. And Seany mentioned it earlier on. We got done for every single mistake, and we did get punished for every single mistake. Because again, if you look at the stats, even at the end of the game, we've had 70% of the ball. That's an opposition at home comfortable to allow us to not be effective on the ball, to overplay it, to not be penetrative. The sort of game where unfortunately you would have liked to see Thiago, for example. When things get a little bit frustrating at 1-0 down, because it didn't matter who was on the park, we were going to be at 1-0, as Seany said there, because of Adrian. And I don't want to talk about the back pass from Robertson, because nobody wants to criticize Robertson, but you don't play a back pass like that to a goalkeeper who you don't have confidence in. But anyway, he controlled. For me, you'll set your head spinning by talking about who made mistakes where, but it's the way you set up as well. And we never set ourselves. I could see Virgil van Dijk more frustrated than I've ever seen him tonight, because he's just looking around going, who's going to join me in this game? And then he started having a bad game himself. He threw himself at 80. Poor.
Like the Nets playing up tonight
I
for
think
everyone.
the internet must be a bleeding Liverpool fan, because it's having a fucking meltdown here tonight as well.
But just to touch on his on Peter's couple of Peter's points.
That's already.
You see the line, the offside line. We're talking about sort of Virgil holds this offside line, and we're talking about Gomez being on the wrong side. Again, this is all about communication, and it all stems from that goalkeeper. The confidence and the communication of a team, always in every team, especially at this level, starts from the goalkeeper. And we've seen how much it influences this team since Alisson's come in. Everybody thinks goalkeeper's position is just, look, do you remember we used to say Millionaire, he's a great shot stopper. Give him a buy, Even Pepe Reina, good shot. But communication. Now, Pete, you're talking about Robertson giving the back pass. Robertson is a professional footballer that's in every right to give that pass to his goalkeeper playing for Liverpool Football Club. It's then on that level. It's on that keeper to do the most.
Yeah, but Grizz, he's not hitting the ball to a midfielder who can trap the ball and get it out of his feet quick.
But this is my point.
Robertson plays the ball over Trezeguet's head.
Over someone.
Back into it's completely the wrong decision.
But it's
terrible decision making on Robertson's part. You're a fullback. He can literally send that and we go again. That's
my point. But this is my point. When you're drilled to play a certain way like our team is, right? It's very difficult to come out of habit and then start thinking who you're passing the ball to. I'd hate to be that player in a Liverpool team that has to think about every pass who I'm passing to. That's an awful way of playing at this level.
We big up Klopp. We do big up Klopp, and rightly so. He's the best manager in the world, right? On one of the best sides in the world. But sometimes you just have to use your initiative, and you need that. That's the top players take responsibility. And I'm not saying we haven't got top players, but tonight they didn't take responsibility. None of them did.
100%.
Not one of them.
They all hid from their jobs.
I thought Jota did, Sean. I thought
Jota had a go. He did. He had a go, Pete, and he was.
I thought Jota did
and
for some.
and I thought him and Robertson. I think Andy Robertson has been our best player this year.
Yeah.
Since the season started. Like,
yeah.
But sometimes you just need to, especially in that
going forward. Going forward, he has.
At Anfield, you get away with that. Now, people are going to turn around and say there's no fans, there's no difference. I'm telling you, it does make a difference. Your setup away from home is always different than how you are at home.
Yeah.
Away from home at Villa Park, it's always a tricky game. Patrice Evra, who said he won Premier League title after Premier League title, turned around and said tonight, you always knew coming to Villa Park you were in a game. And it's as simple as that. So the first 10 minutes of that game need to be managed. We never, ever got control. We never even tried to take control. We were chasing our tails from minute one. And at some point, players need to say, do you know what? It's not fucking working. We'll sit in here, but we didn't. We got peppered. There could have been 8 or 9. It's utterly embarrassing. You can point fingers at them all, and you can point fingers at Klopp as well. Because I think Klopp is also part of the blame. Because he could have intervened earlier as well.
Well, that's an interesting point, right? So we'll skip ahead. I'm going to come back to individuals now in a second. But do you feel that club substitutions were the right changes that he made? Do you think that, like, bringing on Jones, for example, when he brought on Jones was the right move?
No.
To put him where he put him? Should Milner have come on there maybe to solidify the midfield? Should Henderson have come on there maybe? You know, Klopp definitely isn't without blame in the whole thing. But it was just one of the... Go ahead, Grizz. Yeah, go ahead.
Keith, I think just like the team, Klopp was passive with his changes. I thought when we saw... I would have taken... Look, hindsight, sitting in our armchair, having prawn cocktail crisps, we can make decisions and talk about what we would have done now, right? But I would have taken Gomez off very early. Jose done these kind of things in the past. I get sort of giving them another sort of up to half time. I would have done it. I would have slotted Fabinho straight back into the Gomez, because Gomez is young. Gomez is going to be, and I still believe he's going to be, a brilliant, brilliant centre-back. But Gomez's performances range from 9, like he was against Arsenal, to 3 out of 10. And who was criticised for those kind of performances? Degsy Lovren. But Degsy Lovren obviously was a professional, a more experienced professional. So Gomez has got that against for him. We can't overly criticise Gomez because of the fact that he's got the inexperience on his side, and he will get better. But as a manager, as a world-class elite manager, you have to see and you have to know your players when they've gone.
No,
they like to see Gomez's game was in tatters by minute 35, 40. Because what's his name? The Watkins had him. He was running him ragged. Now, Trent's not out of this. We will possibly get onto Trent. But that triangle in that right side of the corner where Gomez, Trent, and Adrian was, and where they lived, was atrocious. It was worse than Sunday League. Fabinho, I would have personally slot Fabinho back on and made that change and brought on Minamino far earlier, or Jones, and slot Gini, because Gini was passive again. You know, I'm sorry, Gini was out again, contrasting to the Arsenal performance. This is what's bewildering, and this is why I think we all agree that it's an anomaly. We don't see 10 passive players on a Liverpool shirt. You might get the odd 2-3, and we have a grumble and a moan about 1 or 2 were passive. But that was the first time where we saw 9, 10 players absolutely dead.
Very true.
Now, tell you what, if that's not a fucking rocket, because I'm telling you now, every year we've went to Gunnarsson under Klopp, we've been fucking shite. And if that's not a rocket, and there's not a statement in a fortnight's time, well then, you need to fucking shelve your talk of running away with another league again, because we're in this. This is going to be a mad season. This is going to be a crazy season. Look at some of the results yesterday and today. And I tell you what, absolutely no excuses being made here. There was turmoil in our camp this week, by the looks of it, from the outside looking in. Because I'm telling you now, everyone's up the wall about these COVID things. Thiago's obviously brought the COVID in, from what I can see. Because there's no other way players should be contracting it. And it's spread to Mane. And obviously with incubation periods and stuff like that, it's possible that it's in and around the squad. All right? And then you have Alisson getting injured. There's been a whole lot of uncertainty. And it's not what you want. The managers go on every week about only having 1 game a week and 2 days to prepare for the game. it was a nightmare. And a shout out today. Everything came out. This was an opportunity for us to put a foot in the throat again and go. And we missed it completely. It was a complete misstep. And it just goes to show we're going to be in this again. Pep and City, everyone has questions asked about them. We are not fucking invincible here. It's a massive build up the hole. And listen, how we respond is exactly how we can go forward with this. This is where you make judgment. I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh, the squad's not big enough, this, that, and the other." That's bollocks. This is the best squad we've ever had. We have a couple of injuries. Everyone is going to struggle when that first choice goalkeeper is out. It's a fact. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We got beaten today, we lost, we take our licks and we move on. But a fucking response is paramount at Goodison Park. We can't go there timid and respectful the way we have been. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how good that they are.
No, I agree 100%. But if we look at it, Ramez has a comment there, still don't need a centre-back. What happens when Gomez is having a stinker and Matip's injured as always? Also, what's happening with our midfield? Exactly. There's a load of people in the comments that are thrown in. You know, I've said that Gomez is the best young centre-back in the world, and Andy has said he's the best young centre-back in the world. Look, we'll stand over that because 23-year-old centre-backs will have rickets and will have periods where they're out of form and they get through it. And Gomez has had these periods and he's come back. Gomez is a wonderful centre back. Let's make no mistakes.
I don't want to watch Joe Gomez chasing shadows when James Rodriguez is teasing those lines. It's going to hurt us. With Dominic Calvert-Lewin doing what he's doing, I think Gomez will be a target. I will play Fabinho.
I think that's the game that we need. I think Gomez can step in and do that. Yeah, I'd put
if we're going on with squad like Paul Rovers, we didn't turn up today and we got turned over. It's the Premier League. You get poked. Sometimes you get poked. They scored every shot they took today. Bar the second half.
Why should Joe Gomez play the next game? I don't understand.
He doesn't have to play the next game. You can put Fabinho in there, but you don't turn around and say, "I don't want to see him getting put around this and this."
No. Listen to what I said. I see Joe Gomez play centre back and get the run around. I want him out there, and I want Fabinho at centre back, and Henderson hopefully back in.
I agree,
and we'll see what happens. For me,
I agree.
For me, Joe Gomez needs to watch 3 or 4 Liverpool games to sit him down. He's 23, he's young.
Yeah, 100%.
No, for me, it's normal. Yeah. You have a shocker like that, it's time to watch.
If we had Matip and we had Matip fit, it's an easy call. It's take Gomez out of the limelight and you play Matip. We don't have that luxury at the moment, and the option is Fabinho. Now, Fabinho stunk as well today. Let's make no bones about that.
I thought he was one of who was closer to his usual game.
But when he went to centre back, I thought he was cat. But then the game was gone at that stage. You know, the game was gone.
Yeah, all over the shop. Look, I'm going to agree with Peter there in terms of there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a young centre back out of the line of fire. And at the moment, Calvin Klein. I'm going to call him Calvin Klein. I don't know his name. You know, Simon Calvin Klein, right?
Simon Calvin. I like that.
He is fire at the moment. So you take him out the line of fire at the moment. I'm not about this little game. He will prove his. No, I'll tell you the reason why. The reason why is because our squad enables us at the moment to put Fabinho back there, who's pocketed Lewandowski and Werner and the like, right? Every time he's played there. Even though we're always worried about him going back there. And then most importantly, who comes back into our side after the 2-week break instead of Fabinho in central midfield? Henderson. And he makes the total difference to the dynamic of our team, the passion, the energy, the structure of our team. It totally changes it. I don't think any of us will disagree about Gomez's capability and his potential. Yeah. But there's absolutely no harm in taking a young centre-back. And we've discussed so many times, centre-backs don't peak until 28, 29. Let him learn, and this is his learning process. There's no one who's going to say, never put on a red top again. Fuck off. Right? That's reactionary. But there's nothing wrong with sitting down, calming down, analysing the situation and say, well, even though we worry about it sometimes, Fabinho hasn't put a foot wrong at centre-back. Forget his little cameo today. But generally, when he's played at centre-back, there's nothing wrong. Add to that the experience and the command of Hendo coming back into midfield. I genuinely think we'll be fine. But look, as today, I thought Trent, even Virgil, Gomez, I thought it was shambles. And that's the best way of describing it, because I know they scored with every fucking shot, even without taking a shot on target, they seemed to score, right? But the score still flattered us. So that's my pain, because it still flattered us. But look, there's nothing we can do about it, sort of in terms of right now, as Jurgen Klopp says. The frustrating part is none of his players are around now. They all go off international duty. He can't even sort of drill them in training, which is the frustrating part.
It is frustrating. It is frustrating. Now, a lot of people are making the comments about the midfield not functioning and what can we do about the midfield. Seany, do you see any problems with the midfield? Or do you think tonight, forget about not tonight, but in general, do you think there's a problem with Liverpool's midfield?
The area where we're most sound, to be honest. We have loads of diversity now in midfield. Look, Thiago's out and Henderson's out. You put Henderson, Thiago into that midfield, it automatically changes everything. Yeah. We control that game from minute one if them two lads are in there, regardless of who's in your net. Yeah, the thing is with Liverpool, normally when we've gone behind in games, we went behind against Arsenal, nothing changes. We just go on, we get on with our game. Didn't happen tonight because of the way we gave up the goal. It was shell shock, and it was a realisation for the lads, the 10 outfield lads going, oh, for fuck's sake, this is it now, isn't it? Like, because from what we're led to believe, Alisson's injury is rather serious. So it's going to be quite some time before he's back. 4 to 6 weeks, they're saying. And them boys now, they are going to have to fucking dig in to get results now. And it's not helpful at all with the scheduling of football now between after the break. It's 2 games a week. Champions League, Champions League, Champions League. It's non-stop. So he is going to be responsible for those dropping points. And that's just the way that it is. We've left ourselves, look, like Grizz said earlier, hindsight is 2020. And with a goalkeeper situation repeating how it happened last year, it's clear that Adrian is not good enough. He's just not good enough to do what we need to do.
I agree.
Midfield is not an issue. Getting back to
no.
Midfield is not an issue now.
Yeah, when we line up against Everton in the derby, hopefully we'll have Thiago and we'll have Henderson in there, and it changes the whole dynamic of the whole team, but certainly of the midfield. And then you're putting in one other, whether that's Keita, whether that's Genie, flip a coin on them. They were both bad tonight. Pete, I'll come to you. The midfield issue that we have, and I know your opinion on Joe Gomez is quite you don't rate him and you put Fabinho in there. Is that what you're going with for the next game and for the foreseeable future, or do you think Fabinho in the holding midfield role will give us more? Let's say we went with a Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson midfield 3. Does that give more protection and more, as Seany said there, you're keeping the ball, you're controlling, you're dictating? Does that keep it away from the defence and take the pressure off? Is that where the problem
it could potentially. It could, because, Liverpool win, lose or draw. I mean, I do agree with Sean, but Liverpool win, lose or draw, see an awful lot of the ball. 70% of possession today. So if you've got a player like Thiago, things become a little more subtle. And I think that's why he was brought in, to be that deep line midfielder who spots those key passes. It's not going to be a bunch of assists like all the internet idiots think it's going to be. It's going to be a bunch of key passes, opening up teams. And it becomes, I've played centre half. Sean, you've played. The worst thing is when a ball is coming back at you all the time. Someone like Thiago just maintains possession from those deep lying areas. So I can see, hopefully, when he settles in, when he starts to start, you'll see a lot more joy. I think the goals will start to flow and there'll be less pressure. And that's when it becomes a time when you can possibly bleed Joe Gomez back into the team. Because for me, Fabinho has to start, given Matip's injury and the lack of real depth. Fabinho has to start beside Virgil van Dijk after what we saw tonight, to be honest.
Very true, very true. Grizz, I'll come to you. No, go ahead. I was coming to you anyway.
No, I thought you might ask me a different question. I wanted to sort of just give my opinion on the midfield scenario. Your original question to Seany, and is there any concern or whatever? individually and as a collective unit, and the name and the players that we've got in midfield, it's the strongest that I can remember. It's the best set of midfielders overall. My concern, though, is we have to find a formula and a balance with these set of midfielders at the moment. We haven't at the moment. My concern would be the three that we play, if we play a three midfield. I genuinely believe, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think we do need to tweak the system a little bit. We have the players to do so now. We haven't had the players to do so in the past. I genuinely believe we have the formation, sorry, the players to play formation that will surprise the opposition. Again, this manager came out and said the same thing. We knew how they're going to set up. We knew where their weaknesses were. Now, that's the only slight concern and worry for me. I don't want to hear managers say we knew how Liverpool were going to set up. I don't want to hear that. I want us to be, so flexible in our variety, in the way we play and variety, because we've got the midfielders. Obviously, we can't do it now because Thiago and Henderson are out. But I'm just saying, going forward, you asked about the midfield. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No.
Can you see, Grizz? Can I ask you, Grizz? Can you see Klopp being ruthless and making some sort of goalkeeper change? With somebody was talking earlier on about Gazzaniga being available. Can you see him? I can see something ruthless happening.
I've asked for ruthlessness from Liverpool this summer, and they've given us ruthless, in my opinion. I just think the timing is just not possible. I don't think bringing in a goalkeeper for 4-6 weeks and playing in our system and the instructions, how many instructions we need to give to a keeper to go straight into the way we play is possible. It may be, but I can't see it. It's just not possible.
But it can't be any worse. It can't be any worse than Adrian. Yeah. All right, I get that. You're right. It can't be worse than him because I think of him. But a lot of people are asking for a centre back as well. I can't think of a centre back that you can just throw in there and play in a Klopp team right now. I don't see how it works and how you buy someone just like that. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult. As we guys have said and accepted, we have to go forward with this now and accept that he will be our goalkeeper for 4-6 weeks. And he's not Alisson, so we have to adapt the way we play, which is a shame. We're talking about Robertson thinking, leave it to the players to think and work the problems out on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Seany, is there a problem with Alisson? Do we have a question with Alisson with 3 injuries in the last 2 years, or is it just one of them things that happens? They're impact injuries, aren't they? I mean, he collided with Trent for this one. There was a hip injury at the end of last season, and then there was the one at the start of the season. With that, he's not an injury prone player. I'm not saying he's an injury prone keeper, but do we need to? Is having a jobber like Adrian good enough if Alisson is going to be susceptible now to knocks? If a keeper starts getting little knocks here and there.
No, I think after this injury now, it will definitely be something that's conscious in the mind of Edwards and Klopp going forward. Because look, it's weird to say that a player is injury. Every single player is injury prone. Anyone can can have a contact injury like that. But same way people say Gomez is injury prone. He was getting hit. He's getting hit. He's never out with a toe strain or a groin strain, a la Lovren or Matip. But with the form, you go on the last 2 seasons, it would definitely suggest that we need a higher caliber of second keeper to deputise towards Alisson. Now, look, we signed Adrian on a free. He wasn't getting a game for West Ham. That's exactly what we've gotten. So we shouldn't really be surprised. You know what I mean? Maybe they need to probably just drop 10 or 15 million next summer on someone who could potentially dethrone Alisson at the other end of his career. So a younger keeper who you can trust to do the fundamentals. Because look, we can't improve Adrian anymore. He's what? He's
33
in the twilight of his career. So what you see is he's never going to get any better under their stewardship. So you need somebody to come in And to be able to say, do you know what? If he goes out, we'll be all right. And to be fair, we haven't even got that with Van Dijk, because you can see all the money teams splashed on centre-backs. And you look at Maguire and the likes. If Van Dijk went out, we'd struggle as well. Alisson is out, we will struggle. We will have to suffer. Pete's in Spain. And a big thing they say in Spanish football is sufrete. So you suffer. So in hard times in a season, you suffer. And the team who suffers the best, who is well able to cope with suffering, will be the team who, in the end, wins. They made excuses for Man City last year with Laporte and the likes. Well, he's back now, and they're still shite at the back. So let's just get in, dig in. We're champions at the end of the day. It's one game. You dig in, you get behind them. You might hate Adrian. I don't like him at all, but he's wearing a Liverpool jersey. If you can only support Liverpool when the best 11 players are on the park, then fuck off. Want to play Ultimate Team, want to play FIFA. If you think signing Upamecano tomorrow is going to make this problem go away, it's not. Like Grizz said, it's so hard to find players ready-made to come in and play in this system. The only reason Thiago's look so good is because he's Thiago. He's one of the best to ever do it. And in fairness, Jota has been like a duck to water. Jota has been very good. He's slot in there. You just need to take the rough with the bad. And today was as bad as it's going to get. Take solid from that. It's as bad as it's going to get, because you have to believe there's a rocket up the arse there. And we'll go to Goodison with a bit between that teeth, because they're far from far now and they think it's all rosy. It hasn't even begun yet. We know that. We've learned this. We've been in these races.
They haven't played anyone ever.
Exactly. So people just need to relax for a minute. The most relaxed person on that bus going home tonight will be Jurgen Klopp. And you just need to lick your wounds and get on with it. You get licked out, you get battered sometimes. It happens. Even happened to fucking that great United time, 07, 08, 09. They took their licks. You need to learn how to take it. This is part of it.
Exactly. And I think we do lose focus of that. You know, we were, the last couple of years, the standard was so high where you can't afford a defeat. Look, you get a defeat. Peter, in some ways, is the fact that we got battered, right, by an Aston Villa better than getting battered by a rival? And I don't mean to denigrate Aston Villa. Look, they played very well. They deserve a lot of credit. We haven't really spoke too much about them. But is the fact that we were beaten by Villa 7-2 something that's like, right, it's a freak result. We just fix what's you know, the issues are in-house, and we just move on from that. There's nothing more, is there? Like, it's not like we're beaten by Spurs or City or anything like that. It's just a bad day.
I think anybody would have beaten us tonight. I think Sean is right. Sean said that there would have been. Sean made a point earlier on that there would have been turmoil this week with everything that's going on. I think you're seeing the subtotal of that. We would anybody in that Premier League would have beaten us tonight, and would have beaten us handy. We were all over the place, and it's no coincidence, you know, that what was usual was to see the score, you know, ramped up. But you know, 4 deflections, a freakish goalkeeping error, and a couple of outstanding performances from Aston Villa, who made, you know, they were so efficient with what possession they did have. It was just everything just aligned at once. And I said this to Philip Casey a few times, Sean, if you remember, we have to get used to being everybody's cup final. Every time Liverpool are on that television, the commentators are up for it. You know, it's all about, you know, from minute 20, it's about running the clock down for the team that's beating us. It's incredible. It's incredible. But we have to get used to that. The great teams in the past were used to that. And now we have to get used to that. And Sean is right. I remember Manchester United being beaten 6-3 by Southampton, and everybody was talking about this fella's finished, that fella's finished. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. I'm a shit loser. And I think we all are. None of us like this because you get so used to winning your whole life. As I said on a couple of weeks show, my first impressions of Liverpool when I was 6 and 7 years old was that the game was 90 minutes, and at the end of it, somebody handed Alan Hansen a trophy. That was my introduction to football. So you become a little bit spoiled. But I think Sean is right. Klopp will be relaxed because he knows that his team talk is done. You know, he just has to talk about how everybody, you know, everybody has been waiting for this, and it's party time for everybody else. And by the way, 11 people owe me a performance today. So, you know, exactly. I said tonight on Twitter, I feel sorry for the next team that we play, because we'll have 11 trialists on the park, to be honest with you. We'll have 11 strong trialists on that park.
That's true. Dinesh Karoy puts in that Nick Pope for the future. I think Nick Pope's older than Allison, and he had a stinker.
He's only young.
No,
I'm checking. No, he's 28. Nick Pope's 28.
Is he?
Right, so
My goodness.
I know you get a few years out of a goalie,
The
but
best English
Nick
keeper.
Pope's looking to be the England number one. You know.
I was going to say, sorry, Keith. Sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead, Grizz. I was going to come
No,
to you
exactly
anyway.
what I think, yeah. He's England's number one. He's not going to come and sit on our bench. And, you know, I think Nick Pope's the best English keeper out there, but there's no, you know, that doesn't really make sense for us where we are, where he's at.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. You know, the sub keeper, it's an awful position, you know what I mean, to try and fill. Who wants to sit on the bench at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
But the frustration with Adrian is look, okay, I'll accept the point from Seany and Pete about the back pass being over the fucking defender's head with side spin and curling into him, right?
Yeah.
But proper googly, right? The bowling a googly at him. But why doesn't he? The frustration lies with Adrian. Sorry, the frustration with the public is, why doesn't he then acknowledge his own limitations and do the basic thing, especially in the whatever minute it was? He does this time and time again, where he tries to play. It's almost like a competition with Alisson to play the same way. When you're by far the inferior keeper, you do what you're good at. You do what you was good at West Ham. You wouldn't have done that bollocks at West Ham. Whoever the defenders were at the time would have given you the ball back and you would have fucking hoofed it into the corner. Why are you trying to do something that you're not capable of? Again and again and again. And even the Jack Grealish finish, he mishit it into the center of the goal. And his positioning was nowhere to be seen. He doesn't inspire any of the team with confidence. And that's my slight worry. I get we're going to be rearing to go. I get Klopp will be calm. I don't think Klopp will be calm about his goalkeeping situation. I genuinely don't think so, guys. Honestly,
that's why I asked you the question. That's why I asked you the question earlier.
I think he's going to be not nervous, not scared, but he's going to have this apprehension, just like the rest of us. He's human as well, because he's seen. Now, I read a stat where this is the 10th error that leading to goals from Adrian. 10th error leading directly to goals. That's fuckery, guys. For an elite team like us, we can shine it up as much as we want. He's the best. You know, it's difficult to get a second goalkeeper. I get all that. But we're Liverpool Football Club now. We've got to move on and be harsh and ruthless, as you said, Pete. Sometimes you have to be ruthless. If we're going to be ruthless, it's yet to be seen. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, Dinesh said it's a bad day at the office. He's been supporting the Reds since '85, but he still backs his team, and that's it. That's the spirit. Arsenal Fan Circle channel thrown in. He's a regular contributor on here as well. I'd love to have kept both Leno and Martinez. Injuries can mess you up in a specialist position, and it's so true. You know, it is so true. You lose a goalkeeper, and it can destroy you. And we got away with more that last year when we lost Alisson. And I think I said at the time, and I'll put my hand up to this, I said Adrian was a fine backup, for the simple reason that he wasn't Mignolet. And what happened with Mignolet was, as soon as he was in, the fans were on his back. There was an air of, oh, not him again. And Adrian just wasn't that. He got the support early on. Now, that's come full circle. There's no fans in there, but you can see the team just, they don't defend. Well, they were defending very bleeding high today, I suppose, but they don't seem to have the trust in Adrian, and it seems to fuck up all their heads as well. So
Keith, when you've got a broken, when you've got a broken high line, when you've got a broken high line, it's a sure sign that whoever's breaking the line is afraid of getting caught in behind by somebody breaking, because you're going to get caught one-on-one with the keeper, and they don't want to happen.
Yeah,
they're subconsciously 2 yards deeper before a ball's even kicked. That's where it is.
The trust isn't there.
Absolutely.
And I tell you what,
that's the outside trap, Seany. You're absolutely spot on. This is the problem we're going to have. This is where you can only fix it on the coaching, on the training ground.
Exactly. So maybe Klopp maybe looks at, look, Alisson, if Alisson's going to miss 7 or 8 games, Klopp needs to think, okay, well, I'm going to deploy this system for this game. The thing is, I have a weapon. It's grand playing the high line, because we have Trent and Robertson pulling forward, and we use the high line as a trap most of the time. It is, because if you can avoid players on and we turn them over in midfield, bang, we can get at them. We don't have to do that now. So it might be 7 or 8 games now where Alisson misses, okay? Just say worst case scenario. If we can change the system slightly to where we can still defend, but we can use the likes of Thiago to then be the creative spark in the team and start getting stuff going
from
again.
deeper positions.
This is where coaches earn their money.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a 38-game Premier League season. You are not going to have your day every single day. And the winners of the Premier League are the people who can pull it out when it's not your day. You need to be able to lose as well. Like someone said there, Bob Paddock, bad losers don't win titles. You need to be able to take your licks. And this is it. Adrian is shocking, right? Don't get me wrong. He's not good enough, all right? Bottom line. But we need to accommodate him now in the team. We're not playing with an Alisson in goal. So Klopp needs to say, okay, well, maybe we won't be 10 yards away from the box when the ball is played over the top from now on. Maybe we'll be a little bit deeper. Maybe we'll invite teams on a little bit more and we'll use our midfielders to get teams turned. Because that's the way it's going to be. Look, 11v11, this Liverpool team should be anyone, even if Alisson's not in goal. All right? Yeah. That's as simple as that because the system is there. And the problem is when people talk about having these identities, all right? This is the downside of having an identity, like Chris said. When all your key elements aren't there, you need to still be able to make that system work, all right? This is a well-oiled machine that Klopp has put together, all right? And we've seen last year in games when Robertson and Trent went on it, we struggled massively, all right? And when Salah's not in the team, we struggled massively because it's a well-oiled cog and every single one of them, their job is important. No more so than the midfield. And they didn't do it tonight. Grealish had a field day. The thing that annoyed me most about tonight is, right, lads, I don't mind watching Liverpool lose games of football. I really don't. I grew up, look, I'm 28 years of age. For probably 14 years of my life, Liverpool have been shy, all right? That's simple as that, okay? I don't mind us watching loser games of football. What annoyed me was Villa enjoyed that tonight. You should never enjoy playing Liverpool Football Club. If you want to win a game against Liverpool, you had to put fucking blood, sweat and tears and everything into it. And if you come off and we get nicked 2-1, that's fair enough. You go to City and you have to work for a win. Like not last year, the year previous, when they beat us 2-1, they had to work for that. They did not enjoy that 90 minutes. Villa enjoyed that 90 minutes tonight. No team should enjoy playing against us. We should be a fucking nightmare. We're not just pretty all on the ice team. We have to be. Look at Arsenal last week. We suffocated them on Monday. Suffocated them. And they walked and they nearly got a result. And they would have died for that point. And you look at Villa tonight. We did not make them walk for that tonight. And that's what annoys me. That's the most annoying part of me, was watching them enjoy that game. Watching Grealish dink one past us. That should never be the fucking case. We should hold ourselves to a way higher esteem than that. And that's what Klopp should be drilling into the players. Look what they did to you. These are supposed to be fucking journeymen at Villa. And they enjoyed that tonight. That's what annoyed me the most.
Yeah, it's been touched on. You know, the right side of our defence with Trent and Gomez was horrific. Trent wasn't at it. I don't know how fit he was. Those, the late fitness test and all that sort of thing. And it was exposed. And Grealish had the run of us down that side. It was shocking. It was terrifying. Every time they got the ball, you felt these fuckers could score. You thought that could have been 10. But Pete, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to move further up the pitch. I'm going to talk about Bobby Firmino.
Look, 2-1 down, 1-0 down. Bobby has two very, very good chances. Then which he misses. In fairness to Martinez, he's done very well. Then at 2 or 3-1 down, he's at 2-1 down. Martinez has made a similar mistake to Alisson, and it's been squared to Bobby, who decides not to shoot. So as much as Bobby, people talk about him being, the great link, the great system, he's not doing it. We've touched on it earlier. He's not doing it. Then do the dirty bits, actually finish your chances. He's not doing that either. The problem is we're kind of over the barrel with the way Bobby Firmino plays. It's very, very difficult to take him out. You've no focal point at all. And I think it's the one blind spot that we have. What do you do when Bobby Firmino isn't firing? And he's not firing right now at all. He's been, I won't say shocking, because he walks, when Bobby Firmino is the type of guy that when it's not going for him, he still walks his arse off and makes it difficult for defenders. But for me, their defensive midfielder tonight, their defenders looked comfortable. Tyrone Mings came forward 5 or 6 times in that first half, like he was Virgil van Dijk. Bobby Firmino, that's on form, does not allow that to happen. For me, again, it's trouble. It's troublesome. Who do you get to truly back up Bobby Firmino? Maybe for me, I would have brought Minamino on for Bobby. That was probably the change I would have made at halftime.
Pete, on this show, I've been saying on this show, Pete, you can't, in our squad, in our current crop of players, we can't and we haven't got a Bobby replacement. Now, Bobby, I'll say how it is. Bobby's an atrocious finisher. I'm saying it. I don't give a shit what anyone tells me. I'm going to let my eyes and my judgment, right, make the call here. He's an atrocious finisher, but he's a lovely footballer. He's an intelligent footballer, and he's the most hardworking footballer. When he's not finishing, if his finishing boots on, if he scores, he's a streaky goal scorer. He'll get 2-3 goals. The reason why I've said a change of formation is because of Bobby Firmino. It's solely, Keith will know, I think Sean has been on a few shows. The only reason, because otherwise you're mad to change a system and a formation that's got you the league title by 18 points. But I don't want my team, Liverpool, to be labelled as predictable. And if Bobby's not on his game, there's not much happening for the rest of the team because he's so key. We've made him so key to the system. Klopp has made him so integral. We need a variety of way of playing. And to do
I can live with Bobby not scoring goals. I really can, because I know the majority of where goals comes from. It's a 3-pronged attack, and he's on the back of it. It's as simple as that. He does make a tick, but he's not even making a tick anymore.
He's not making a tick, but that's my point. We can't replace him with another forward.
Normally, if you're getting pressed out of the game or getting hustled or harried, you can bang the ball into Firmino and it sticks to him, right? And he'll roll his marker, and then you're in play. And you're in play.
He had proper Lukaku touch today. Honestly, everything that was hitting him was bouncing off him.
And
I think he's exhausted. If I'm being honest with you, we haven't had it. Nobody has had a preseason.
Yeah, and he's literally not stopped playing football for 3 years.
Yeah. I think he's exhausted.
He could be burning the candle on both ends. Now, if Klopp was smart, he'd be turning around and giving your man playing Poit a phone call saying, do you know what, Bobby has a little nick. I think we're going to keep him here and have a look at him. Because we need to be clever in that instance. Now, we're sort of lucky. Look, Alisson nearly missed the Arsenal game on Monday due to a COVID test. I'm nearly wishing he did now, because it's circumstance. That's the way it is. Like you said, hindsight is 20/20. You just have to get on with it.
Very true. Very true. Bobby divides a lot of the fan base. You know, people think you get this, your centre forward should be scoring 30, 40 goals a season, but you know, we all sort of know that Bobby facilitates the others. He brings them in, and his work dropping deep. I'm a huge Bobby Firmino fan. I'll be the first to say he stunk it out tonight. But sometimes he can be the easy target because of the goals that don't come, you know. But he did set up Mo's goal, as Ruben put in the chat earlier. You know, he had a couple of chances, as I think Grizz or Pete touched on there, that he went through. He made Martinez work hard on one, and he pulled one back to Keita where maybe he probably should have shot earlier, you know. But go ahead, Grizz. You're not in skill.
But Keith, we touched upon the defenders and the goalkeeper and Bobby. I think the most depressing to see was the energy levels of Naby and Ginny as well. Yeah. I praised them against Arsenal and said they were superhuman in their energy and pressing against Arsenal, because they just didn't let them breathe. It was totally the opposite, as you guys were alluding to, in terms of how much time fucking Grealish and McGinn had on the ball. It was crazy. We don't let teams breathe like that, but they were breathing, having breathers. All that possession was useless. Forget all that possession stats in terms of Liverpool. We don't let the opposition be comfortable in possession. And that was Bobby and the two number 8s' role. Fabinho does step into that role, yes, but it's mainly Gini and Keita's role. alongside Fabinho, Bobby, when he drops deep, to make it a 3 that just don't let their midfielders rest on their laurels. And we did, for whatever reason. Naby Keita and Gini, I thought, was so passive. They played like elderly women out there, honestly. No tackles, no energy, no passion from them. And there was just, I didn't see any drive from any of them to make things happen either, which was, very disappointing today. Very disappointing.
Maverick puts in the chat there, stop scapegoating. If anything, Klopp should have changed things earlier. Keita looks like he will never be consistent, and Gini just needs more rest. And look, we're not trying to scapegoat anyone, I suppose. We've been beaten 7-2 by Aston Villa. We have to talk about some poor performances.
There's not going to be no scapegoats in a 7-2, mate. Fucking hell.
It's unfortunately, so I don't like to single out players. Even Naby gets a lot of stick, and I think Naby has he does things well, even if they're not the exciting things that we see. I think he usually, when we're pressing well, Naby is usually at the forefront of that. But there was no energy tonight from any of them from the start. It wasn't Naby's fault. It wasn't, it was a collectively we were bleeding pony tonight, and it just didn't look right.
The grim thing is now, a large chunk of this squad goes away on international duty now to clusters of teams where there's players coming from countries all over the world in the middle of a pandemic. Like, this could be fucking mental. 2 weeks' time. Because Klopp said, look, we're playing on the 12:30 on a Saturday, and some of our boys are going to get back from South America on a Wednesday or a Thursday night. During the minute. So they will have to be tested before they can train, cleared, and then ready to play on Saturday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So look, nobody's scapegoating here, all right? At the end of the day, football is a game at this level is about punishing mistakes. And tonight, fucking Aston Villa had the royal flush. Every single thing went that way. It was a perfect storm for them. When balls were deflecting, normally they can go out for a corner, or you go out past, or they'll take the sting out of a shot, and your keeper can save it. The ball was the deflections were flying off, pinging over keepers' heads. They scored 3 goals
in the top corner.
It happens. The 4th goal, it happens. Look, if you get them spread out over a season, you'd feel unjust. You got it all in 90 minutes tonight. We need to regroup. You don't fucking whittle. You don't whittle at the sight of a challenge. We've been critical of City not having a goal when challenged this year. We need to have a goal now. We need to show that the goal is still in it. And there's no better place to do it than Goodison. But there's unmitigating circumstances at play here that people just aren't taking into point. They're talking about, I have to go and do this. You've seen even the danger of bringing a player in from the outside brings to the squad.
Yeah.
Thiago tested positive. You best believe that's where it started. Now, I'm not having a go at Thiago. He obviously didn't mean to bring the fucking virus into the dressing room. But these are the little small risks you're even taking now by allowing someone from the outside. Because these clubs have created a bubble, in a sense. Yeah. And they've created this ecosystem that allows us to continue to play football without any inhibitions during a pandemic. And that's gone out the window now. So, and now that we're being forced to send players off to international duty, and they're going to come back from all corners of the globe, this is going to be mental. This is going to be absolutely mad. It's going to be chaos.
Nobody's calling for a null and void now, though. It's amazing, isn't it? Where are all the health
and I tell you
experts?
Trust me, come February or March, they'll wish it was null and void, because we'll be out of cleared again. I know it. There's no doubt about it. We're the best team in the league. We still are. Don't listen to what anyone says. We still are the best side in the league. Look, Ole will be delighted with how that game went tonight, because he's getting off for a lovely one now that we got battered. And it's simple as that.
He'd be sacked.
Yeah. Just get on with it. Look, 4 games, 9 points. Only one team has done 4 out of 4. It's Everton. Relax. For fuck's sake.
Well, Villa are on 3 out of 3, aren't they?
Yeah, Villa are shy. Don't get me wrong. Villa are shy. I know they're crap. We won't be worried. They're not a problem now anymore. No. They fucking done us like a keeper tonight. And you know what? Fair play to them. And Dean Smith, obviously has a sus because he was the very same last year. Villa Park was a nightmare as well last year. And fair play to them. They're a club. I'm delighted they stayed up, but they're not really aired issue. We got slapped up tonight. I know I look like a fucking idiot saying that, but let's be honest. You're saying they've won 3 out of 3, Keith. They'd be happy when they get the 40 points and they get that money next year from the Premier League.
100%.
So there's levels
100%. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I was tongue in cheek. You know, they're up there. There's a few teams that are in false positions. But when it all levels itself out, we're going to be where we deserve to be. And it's an excellent point that you've made there, Seany. Do we have the bollocks for a fight? Do we have the stomach for a fight? We're going to find out. Right? We're going to find out because we've said it, and I know Pete's being vocal as well about Man City over the last while. Man City, in my opinion, are a great footballing team, but when it gets put up to them, they have a leader in Kevin De Bruyne now. Wonderful player, but does he have the stomach to lead his team to a fight? I don't think he does. I think he's a great player.
The manager doesn't. The manager cracks.
Will we have the same issues? Will we have the same issues? We seem to have good leaders in that team. Can we get over it? Can we move on? It's reaction to an absolute abomination of a result, but it's an anomaly. It's not a stand. No one saw that coming. Villa didn't see that coming. Villa didn't plan there to go out and hump us 7-2. They set their game out to probably nick a draw. Do you know what I mean? Or not get bet. And they've got a 7-2 win. We were pony tonight. We won't be that bad going forward. We're right to criticise players tonight because you can't praise them after getting beaten 7-2. But let's not panic too much. Let's see where the plays out and how the season lies out. So, lads, before we finish up, right? Seany said something there about the international break. It's a disaster. England have 3 games as well during this bleeding break. So you'd like to think that Trent and Henderson and Gomez are the 3 England representatives we have. They're not going to figure too much.
I'll let Gomez play.
Let go. Look, I don't think they'll have better options.
They won't play.
No, I know.
They won't play.
But COVID could be a big issue on this coming back. Fingers crossed it doesn't play out that way. But if all being equal, all comes back healthy, do you see a reaction against Everton when we get back, Seany?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no excuse not that we've shown them way too much respect going there. It's 2 games to Old Trafford and Goodison Park. I can never get myself up for because I just know we go there and always show them. We never play our game there. We need to go there and show them. Look, Carlo is a top coach and he has a good group of players there now. But look, before the ball was kicked this year, we were wrote off. And we'll be wrote off again after tonight. And we need to just go. That's all we need to go and just give it all we have and play the way that we can play. And we will win games of football, regardless of who's in the net.
The funny thing is, Everton the tackles. Sean is right.
That'll hurt them tonight. Them players will be hurting tonight. A lot of them players are regarded the best in the business in the positions. Yeah. That will hurt them tonight. You could see at the end of the game, Milner, it was killing him. It was killing him. That will hurt tonight. It's a little bit of a slap on the chops, and we need to take it and get on with it. Like I said,
maybe we look back at it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to say a watershed moment because I don't think it's that dramatic. You know what I mean? It was a perfect storm for Villa. And I'm not making any excuses. And I'm not turning around saying they were lucky. They were fully worth that 3 points. They were superb tonight. They did. They were very good. As bad as we were, they were able to match it.
Yeah. You have to take advantage when a team does play like that. And they say
and we showed up and not played well in games, and teams hadn't had the gall to go and have a go at us, but they did. And they made us panic. So fair play to them. There's 3 points for them, but the response is key now. It's key. If you have 12 on a Saturday, it'll be the first game back after the international break. There'll be a chance for us because if we win there, we'll obviously go top. Well, I don't know whether we will because our fucking goal difference now is in bits. So
it is.
Yeah. Look, it's just another chance for us to go and show exactly what we can do. And there's no reason why it can't be. Don't lose faith over one game, please.
No, exactly. Peter, what about you? Do you see a reaction coming?
Yeah. Completely agree. I mean, listen, the worst thing, like all great champions, all great winners, sometimes the best thing you can be is sucker punched. to really get the reaction is inevitable. It's inevitable. I said earlier on today, and I stick by it, I pity the next team that we play, because a man to man, whoever survives from the cull or from whoever's not dropped will be going out there to really, put their balls on the line. For me, reaction is the least of it. It's going to be hardcore. Liverpool are going out to hurt somebody. A lot of people's pride is hurting tonight. A lot of people, and sometimes it's a good thing. I'd rather this happen now than happen in April. Say if we're 6 or 7 points clear and you get a very bad, reversal. Maybe somebody's got a game in hand over you or whatnot. I'd rather it happen now. Liverpool are the type of team get kicking the bollocks like this and then go on a 6 or 7 or maybe 8 or 9, 10 game unbeaten or winning streak. That's the type of team Liverpool are. They always springboard and react from something. Like, I fancy a reaction, and not just a one-game reaction. I fancy a multi-game reaction, and Liverpool will be. There's nothing better. There's nothing harder to face than a team of quality that's angry. The thing that was missing today from us was anger. Liverpool have been angry to be dispossessed. How dare you take the ball off us? How dare you score against us? You saw it against Arsenal when Arsenal had the fucking temerity to go ahead after getting bashed for 30 minutes. I saw somebody take the ball out of the net, run to it, like, let's get at these. That's the Liverpool you're going to see for the next 7, 8, 9 weeks.
True. And Grizz, what about yourself? Reactions all over the place? Bit of hunger, bit of fight?
Yeah, this team hasn't let us down in terms of reactions of the last 2-3 years. I can't think of this team not reacting. We've had defeats, we've had downs. Yeah, we could look at the bigger picture in terms of like how we lost to City by 1 point. That was a fucking right shot in the gut. We came back strong. Yeah, then we go and lose the Champions League final. Then we fucking go and win it. Even defeats, we have a defeat and then we fucking really put off, other teams' throat. So I expect the same. I'm not of the opinion that we need a game. I'm grateful for this 2-week break, especially with this, or not the fact that the players are going away, but the fact that sort of we just need to clear our heads and get angry again and refocus. 7-2 looks and is bad. Don't get me wrong. There's no shying away from it. But maybe tomorrow when we watch the game again, like I will, and we see 4 deflections and a back pass from a keeper, we may think, we may sort of calm down with a sort of aggression towards LFC at the moment. But I think we'll get a reaction. And the cliche is the best game, isn't it? It's what more do you want when you want a game to sort of raise your levels in intensity, your passion, your focus, your concentration, than to play your noisy neighbours who are flying top of the table under a brilliant coach. And we've labelled this team, or Klopp has labelled his team, as the mentality monsters, and there's no better time to show why they're labelled mentality monsters from now onwards, in my opinion.
Yeah. Dinesh says that we came back from losing 3-0 to Barca and won 4-0. So look, reaction, we all expect a reaction. It's not the time to lose the head. Let's just wait and see. Treat the Goodison derby like we usually treat the Anfield derby and just go out and try and whack these, because despite what everyone says and despite what people think, we are a better team and we should go out there and prove that in the game. So look, lads, we'll leave it there tonight. We've all been disappointed. We've all been frustrated. We came on, we done the show, and it wasn't pretty, it wasn't positive, but we've done our best. So look, Peter, thanks very much for joining us. Pleasure as always.
Good to see y'all. Definitely. Good stuff.
Grizz, always a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, nice one. I enjoyed that. It's made me night a little bit better talking to you chaps. Love you all.
Good stuff. That's it. Problem shared is a problem halved and all that sort of thing.
Sometimes you need a tonic. Sometimes you need a tonic.
Yeah.
Or as we call it in Ireland, a build up the bollocks. That's what Liverpool got today.
That's exactly it. And what a way to finish it. Seany, thanks very much for joining us.
Cheers, Keith. Thanks for having me on, lads.
Not at all. Listen, so we'll leave it there. We've been the Daytrippers, the Fatback 4, and we'll see us all again soon.